All right, hello everyone, and welcome to another edition of the VGF Strat Corner podcast. Really exciting this round. We're actually going to do kind of a generic character this time, Heihachi, but we have our first guest, and I am your host, Zhang, on the boards. My name is Scott, and then of course with my co-host Dan Jana Kazama. And Dan, I will let you introduce our first guest.
Good evening. And our first guest comes to us from the 2D realm, Mr. Mike, Medicine Horse, Big Mike if you know him from the SRK boards, Digital Gypsy. And he hails from the great state of Minnesota also. And allow me to introduce him, Big Mike.
Hello, people. This is Big Mike.
Oh, what a great entrance. I like that. All right, Dan. You said you wanted to introduce him, so was that all you had, or did you want to open it up, let him tell his story?
That's just the intro. I guess first we'll just introduce Mr. Mike to the listeners out there. You know, get a feel of, I don't know, maybe some questions and answers. Mr. Mike, coming from your 2D background, what is the hardest thing for you to adjust to when you're playing Tekken?
Well, I think one of the first things, and it's actually one of the better things, is talking with you and with all the Tekken people, is that there was a lot more discussion on how mix-ups work and how the game evolves around that aspect of it. I remember you talking. Like this move will lead to this kind of mix-up, and, this will lead to this, and with Street Fighter, a lot of it is like, throw a fireball and you wait, and, Dragon Punch if he jumps. But there is a lot more going on with how the footsies work of the game, and that's what I really liked about it, and, that's kind of what's hard about it, is I had to force myself to think about, the match in a more sophisticated way.
Oh, that actually shocks me. You think of Tekken in a more sophisticated way than like it's a more sophisticated game than Street Fighter and stuff?
Well, yeah. Well, you guys were mentioning, in the podcast last week, there was a definite bar where, the 2D Marvel players were, you get all the scrubs there, but, with Tekken players, you have a much more, group of people who know what they're doing, and you're going to need to know to play the game at a higher level, know how the footsies work, and just know how to, play that game. So I've got, tremendous respect for the Tekken players, and their spacing and their footsies.
Yeah, for those of you listeners out there who don't know what footsies is, that's the 2D term for spacing and everything. The game's related to that, ranging and everything. No, actually, I mean, we say stuff like that because we're Tekken players, but I never, I also consider that part of, we are Tekken players, so maybe we think our own game is more sophisticated because we happen to have spent more time in it. But from a 2D perspective, I don't know, I would never have thought that you guys felt that way too, because you guys have your own dynamics and everything. So, kind of shocking.
Yeah. Oh, well, yeah, because, Justin Wong came and played us about a month ago or so, and I got a chance to play him in a couple money matches, and I realized really at that point how important it is when you space, just to space a match, is everything that you do affects how the match is going to play out. Like how far you are away from a character is either advantageous to you or not, and so it really was an eye-opener to the fact that, I really need to make sure that I'm winning the game at all levels, even if it's like knowing exactly where to be to, make sure any of my moves that I stick out hit, or any of the steps that I want to do. And so that's why Tekken really helped that. That's one of the part of the game that I really like.
Cool. So what do you think Tekken needs?
To
make it a better game for you.
Really, well, I'm one of those weird hybrid guys where, I really love Tekken, So for me, I hear a lot of these 2D guys saying, well, it's all about these pre-programmed combos and, blah, 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 blah,
the dial-a combo.
Yeah, that'll come. But I really see a lot of like room for imagination and how the combos work. So for me, I really love it. I'm excited to see where it's going to be coming and going.
Man,
So
you sound like a closet fan. We're gonna have to pick you up for Tekken Tag.
Oh yeah.
yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, I'll be there. I've definitely put in my time with Tekken 6. I'm a closet player. I play it quite often with my brothers, and I'm just one of those guys who can bounce back and forth between the two, and I really love both.
That's a good point. Do you ever have a hard time bouncing back and forth?
No, actually, it works pretty good. It's a lot harder to bounce between the different versions of 2D, because the speeds are so different.
Yeah.
But once you're in a Tekken match, it flows really well. Muscle memory works.
That's part of the whole jock thing that I keep talking about for it.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah, totally.
and when Reggie, when you guys were down our last tournament, that's Reggie hadn't played in a while, and he said to me, he's like, it's just like riding a bike. I remember how to play.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Who from Tekken would you like to see in your game?
Oh, that's I've been thinking about that. How the new games will come across. And I think obviously the Mishimas would seem that they would fit really well.
Yeah,
But I'm interested. Yeah, I'm interested to see how they add them in there. I'm just going to kind of wait and see what happens and be pleasantly surprised, I hope.
Yeah, I saw as soon as I saw Kazuya crouch dash underneath Ryu's fireball in that trailer, I got to admit I got a little aroused.
Yeah. I always love that sort of stuff.
All right, what is your community's opinion on Tekken?
It's sort of like like I said, there's a little bit of closed-mindedness to it. There's a couple players who do play really well, like Izzy and Jordan, who tend to do well across the board because I think they have an opportunity to play themselves, which I think is really great because you guys are living in the same house or whatever, and they're about the same age, so they can really bounce back and forth on ideas. And so they work really well in the game, and but I think there's just a lack of knowledge to really appreciate, like a Tekken sort of game, which like I had that summer with you, Dan, where you kind of showed me the ropes and showed me how the game goes and everything. That's right. Yeah. For a summer there, Dan and I traded skills in Third Strike and Tekken, and that's sort of where. Yeah, that's where my love of the game came from, and I'm able to appreciate watching it. I can watch the streams, like I can see when Markman's up there, Eris is up there, and all the Street Fighter players have left. I'm like, I'm still dialed into the stream, watching it for like 24 hours a day because I watch the 2D and the 3D.
Yep.
Yeah, so maybe that's just one of those things where we teach the 2D players more of what's up, and I think they would appreciate the game more.
Man, I was hoping there'd be more hatred. I gotta be honest. I love to see some rivalries going on. All right, what's your community's opinion of Tekken players?
What's funny is that there's a noticeable gap because we don't know each other that well, like in our groups. And there's a few bridges. There's like me and you, and then there's Isam who kind of like, keep us together somewhat. But for the most part, we're kind of like a separate group. Like there's the Smash group who go to the tournaments. It's like we really don't know anybody, anything about what they're doing.
Fuck those kids, by the way.
They stink.
They do. All of it. You fucking Smash players, cut your hair. God.
That's right. When you go to a big tournament, please use some deodorant or something, right?
Quit wearing T-shirts that came with DVDs, you fucking scrubs.
So yeah, we don't really have a lot of contact between the groups because we just don't know the players aside from a few who kind of intermingle.
All right. And what would you like to say to Tekken players out there listening?
Oh, I would say, I'd like to see some of that enthusiasm for knowing the game at a higher level. And I'm regarding to that, the spacing game or the footsie game, have you. I'd like to have that translated into the 2D realm somehow, or I'd like them both to merge, like how I like them in my head, where I can bounce back and forth and I can play a game with Tekken and realize that this could help my Street Fighter game.
Yep.
I just like them to merge together and play all the games.
I'll have you know that my love for Dragunov came from a lot of 2D type talk. When we discuss moves like what is it, down forward with Makoto? Is that the kick?
Yep.
The one that, it's like a high arcing one. It's one of the first moves that you told me about that was pretty good. Is I ended up looking for moves that have like, I don't know, hitboxes that extend way past the body, stuff like that. Real 2D pokes. Yeah,
that's right, and it's safe. It's it gives you an advantage for all the nasty stuff. It's great.
I love it. So you kids out there, don't be too shy to dabble between the games. Might learn something.
No, and I'm trying to take that to heart because I picked up Marvel and everything. Maybe I'll play Street Fighter at some point, but I don't know. I'm still thinking.
Well, Street Fighter seems like the better game to me. That's my dumb opinion.
Then Marvel?
Oh, really?
Oh yeah. I can tell you that right now.
I'm saying.
I fucking hate Marvel.
Oh, I've been waiting for this. I've been waiting for this guy.
I hate Marvel. Okay, I hate that game. Sucks so bad. The Uggs are coming back. Ugh.
All right, just one more question from Big Mike before we get started on Heihachi here. What misconceptions do you think other fighting games or fighting game communities would have about your 2D games?
Well, I hate to use Scott as an example, but
No, go ahead.
Please do.
Like your instant reaction to Marvel, it's like, well, there's so much stuff going on, and it's so random, and there's these these OP characters, but with a game like Marvel, it goes way back, and there's like a style of Marvel that's not even really like Street Fighter. You have to play in a different way. You know what I mean? It's not going to be like Street Fighter 2. You can't play it like Street Fighter 2. You've got to run. You've got to throw shit on the screen, and you got to have stuff everywhere. You know what I mean? So it's almost like with Tekken, you're trying to keep people in, right? You're not trying to keep people in, but you're trying to be in the right spot close to somebody to
playing that
to
space
set up your game. Yeah, but in Marvel, you are intentionally keeping people away or trying to mix them up at the same time. So it's like you're far away, making sure the screen's filled with stuff, or you're trying to set up unblockable mix-ups, So it's like you got to try to get used to playing in that chaos. You can't even really play the game in training mode. You have to go play against people because it's so random.
Thank you for saying that so much. Because I understand the game of Marvel and how it's played. It's so annoying. Because you have to keep the screen filled with shit and just unblock. And it's funny that you say unblockable mix-ups because where's the mix-up? It's unblockable, but I hate that stuff so much.
Yeah.
I never liked guys like Scott.
I know. Who does?
That fucking guy. I want to punch him. Right in the head. No, but I love the way you answered that question too, because it brings up my biggest perception of 2D games. It's all about it's like the game of Monopoly. You're trying to own as much of the screen as possible. That's what it seems like to me. Full land. Every piece of screen is real estate.
Yeah. Yeah, there's and you can play it two ways. You can play it that keep away where just there's stuff everywhere, or you can play it supremely rushdown where you're just trying to create that that fuzzy guard where people don't know where you're at, and open up that way. It's just it's a kind of a different concept entirely. It's like it's a Marvel game. I hesitate to even call it a Street Fighter game because it's just so wacky.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
man.
You have to play Street Fighter is definitely different. I mean, if Street Fighter was like Marvel, if you could just pick it up like that, I'd probably play Street Fighter, but it's different for sure.
Yep.
All right, Scott, get us going.
Are we ready? Ready for some hay talk? All right, let's do this then. Well, normally what we'll do, I'll start off and I'll give a little summary, and then we'll just kind of break it down in the character into little subsections. So the main issues with Heihachi, he's a great standing Punisher, but he has some real big issues with his while standing punishing game because of Godfist. Great with Punisher, of course, and he also still has a version of TP. Other than that, like in general, he's kind of a slower character, so he kind of suffers from the same problems that all Mishimas suffer from. But yeah, so if you have a good high crush, you'll do really well against Hay. So we'll break it down from there. So starting off his Punishers. And Dan or Mike, feel free to jump in at any time. But he has a great standing punishing game. 1-1-2 is still one of the best 10-frame punishers in the game. And then at 12, he has if you're in range, he has the forward 12. The head.
For my money, it's the best.
The 1-1-2.
For my money, that's the best 10-frame punisher for my money.
I'm trying to rack my brain, see if I can find something that's better.
Well, the other ones that people would usually do are the Steve 1-1-2 or the Bruce 1-4-3. But the knockdown, hit confirmable, abusable, nature of 1-1-2 is just too good.
Fair enough. Yeah, and especially considering that you can just kind of spam 1-1 and just hunt for a count or for a hit confirm.
Or even if you're trying to punish with it, you can do the 1-1, and if it didn't hit because say you caught yourself mistiming it, you can still not hit the 2 or something.
Yeah, that's pretty dirty. Yeah, and then once you hit 12 frames, he has that headbutt, which is really, really dirty. And that's I don't think he had that in DR, did he? That's new to T6.
Yeah, he had that in 5.0 too, I think.
Yeah, because that thing is nasty. I mean, you pick your big hit move, and you can hit it after that connects. Pretty dirty. I'm a down 3 lover. I don't know why. I love that stomp, so I usually do down 3 after it, but I know you can get Death Fist and 4-4-2 and some other junk.
You used to be able to hit Omen Thunder Godfist off that bullshit.
Oh, I guess it wouldn't surprise me at all if you can still hit that, because that's Omen.
Yeah, you probably can. I think you have more time.
Because that's definitely sweet. And then.
But I do think Heihachi is actually the best of the Mishimas against high crushes because of chop.
The back 1 chop.
Down 1.
Down 1. Oh, got you. Okay, yeah.
The fucking wrist of justice.
Yeah, the other move he shares with Paul. But yeah, okay. So you have the headbutt. You also have TP if you want it at 12 frames. And then
12?
Yeah, pretty sure it's 12.
12? I thought it was 13.
I don't know. The frame data I'm looking at is 12. Says 12. It could be. Oh no, I'm sorry. It does say 13. Sorry, 12 damage. My bad. So yeah, 13 he gets TP. My bad. And then at 14 he gets.
You know those nut riders on the board?
What?
Those nut riders on the board. You post the wrong frame data, they're gonna fucking ride all over your shit. Your points are no longer.
Oh
my God, he's got a helicopter for hair.
Although I will probably not edit that portion. I have an edit button, so whatever.
No, fuck it. We're making fun of them right here, and they can listen.
So yeah, TP, sorry, is 13 frames, and then at 14 he has Godfist, of course. So, but it's really the while standing punishing that's the killer for him. Because at 11 he gets while standing 4-4, and then pretty much doesn't really get shit until 16. And even then, I think all he can get is crouch cancel 12, I think, or.
He used to do if you block like a hell sweep or something, he would just dash cancel electric.
Well, you can do that on like the big moves.
Yeah.
You know, like anything that's like, I wish I had the frame data memorized, but something like ridiculous, like 18, 19 plus or something like that, and you have a few options at that point. I mean, I think you can even get forward 2 off of that, off of a big stun like that. Or I know I see a lot of people doing the delay hop kick, so you have that as an option.
Nice.
But
I didn't know he had the delay hop kick. I knew Kazuya did.
yeah, I'm pretty sure Heihachi does, if you do, the little delay jump and then press it.
All right.
But at least I was pretty sure he had it. I usually just do, like you mentioned, crouch cancel, however you want to crouch cancel, but pop back up and then God Fist at the last frames of the recovery where your opponent is considered standing. So.
Snaz.
But in either case, he has options once he gets against the big stun moves, block stun moves. But I mean, it's really a problem when he can't launch at -15, because you get a character like Fang who has some moves where it's -15, but he doesn't have block stun, So Heihachi's kind of
probably the number one thing. Yeah.
Yeah, he's kind of screwed in that situation, but.
Heihachi's always been a low parry first character, but it's even less so now that he doesn't get Twin Pistons.
Yeah, because Twin Pistons was, the end-all be-all. Crouch cancel TP, you can still launch at 15. But I don't really think we have to talk much about his whiff or his punishing game, because, it's all God Fist all day. That's really what it is with every Mishima. So, and even at range, he gets forward 2. So he really has no problems. If you whiff in his face, so you got to be careful with that. So yeah,
he's a Mishima. You whiff, you die.
Yeah, and it's always been that way. Always will be that way. But it does beg a question or an important topic regarding Mishimas, because they've changed over the last couple games because of God Fist being turned into a high. So, and that's a lot. That has a lot, at least in my mind, that has a lot to do with why they aren't top tier anymore. So.
What's sick, though, is they made it a high, and the Mishimas have still been just as fucked up as ever. I think it's just the rest of the cast is catching up with them. Like, Electric Wind Godfist has been the best move in Tekken since forever, and now everyone's just slowly catching up, and they just keep tweaking stuff down.
It's true. So, okay, so, kind of go along the line of that topic, Electric Godfist is so good. Well, the reason it's so good, for those who somehow don't know, with the exception of it now being high, it does everything you want a move to do. It's completely safe. It tracks, leads to a high damage.
Better than safe.
Yeah, better than safe, because of the pushback and the frames. It tracks, leads to great damage if it connects. And especially with Heihachi, Heihachi gets a lot of damage. And yeah, and especially if you start including walls and stuff, I think he doesn't have the best wall carry in the game, but I mean it's still decent enough, especially for what you need. So
it's an 11 frame move.
Yeah,
comes out of a dash that crouches stuff, advances,
yeah. And that. Kind of to just go into the next topic, with the damage and everything. One of the reasons that I personally like Heihachi in this game is because you can, and actually in the past few games, is because you can play him a bunch of different ways. And I guess this kind of I can throw this at you too, Mike. Like with Heihachi, if you look at all of his juggles, he has a ton of different options, and you can go for Oki, you can go for wall carry, you can go for. I mean, he even has some unblockable setups. And you can just go for straight damage if you want. So, I mean, how do you like to play? Because you said you dabbled with him a little bit, so.
Oh, yeah. One of the things that I really like about him is that he's a little like Dudley in Third Strike, where like you said, he can set up these guessing games, and I can feel you guys, and I can relate that I can't quite punish as well as I'd like with him, but. If he gets a flow and he gets in your face, he can, be a really great threat, which I really like. I like to get in your face and do mix-ups and do mind games, because that's part of one of the my experience in playing games so long is I can kind of read people, and that's even if I don't play a game as well, it's one of my strengths is I can see or have a feeling about what someone's going to do at any given time.
That's the universal thing in fighting games. The guy who can force the other guy to guess the most wins.
Yeah, and
yeah, I was at.
Oh, go ahead.
The guy,
I was gonna say, that move, is one of the, maybe, from the outside 2D perspective, I just wanted to throw it out there and just say that move is damn hard to do. And, the dragon punches, they're a lot easier to do on Street Fighter, on reaction than to do, the electric wing godfist. It seems so fast. And, that's one of the things, one of the hurdles I had to come across or to go over when I started playing. I was like, wow, this is like really execution based. And I was just wondering how feasible that is in real play, or if that's just something I just not fast enough. I just kind of want to get a take on that from you guys.
yeah, electric is it's really, really feasible. People spend their entire lives doing nothing but practicing that move. It's ridiculous. People get it down so much they can do a 14-frame electric no problem, and that's basically no error. People, all they do is study that bullshit.
And it does take time, for sure.
Yeah, I love that. That's one of the things where, it could help in 2D and in 3D. I'm like, wow, that could just make my life so much easier in 2D if I worked on electric all day, because it would translate easily.
I think it's probably comparable most to something like, a down forward with Chun-Li to super?
Well, the stupid thing about that is that, in Third Strike, you've got, like, days to cancel that thing. It's like, oh, it hit. Let me go grab a beer. And, okay, cancel now, and then it's going to work. You know what I mean? It's just one of those late bufferable, moves that it's not good. But, the electric, it's a unique move. I'd have to say, execution-wise, that would be one of the toughest things I've seen, playing, all the games that I do.
Nice. That's interesting. I know that a lot of people, when they first pick up Tekken, like, electric is the thing. Like, oh my God, this move is so cool, but it's so hard to do, and I gotta sit here and practice. But I guess I never realized, how much I don't know, how much devotion it takes to really have that move impact the game. It was kind of interesting to hear that. So. Yeah, well, I just wanted to comment on something that you said, Dan. You were talking about the person who makes the other person guess the most wins, and I know that some people think that some of the other hell sweeps, but I really like Heihachi's hell sweep, and I know that essentially you're making your opponent guess twice. So as the offensive player, it's a kind of a weakness because you also have to guess right twice in order to get your damage. But I don't know, I just love having another mix-up after you've already hit them. So I don't know, I just thought it was interesting that you mentioned that because Heihachi has that, the unique hell sweep where you can either get the while standing stuff, or you can go into a juggle. I mean, the reward is bigger because you're guessing twice if you get the juggle, but it is what it is. So.
Yeah, I really like that one, but I just hate having a block because he's that really negative after that first hit.
Yep. Yeah. But after that, like if you hit him with the first one, the second low is like safe. So it's pretty good there, but I think in high-level play, people can see the difference.
Well, it's the second one actually, or the second or third one. They're not safe, but you can't launch them. So it messes with some people because they see the block stun, and then they're instantly thinking, okay, now I get to launch you, and you just can't. So.
But yeah, that first one, you block that one, you just cream him.
Yep.
Well, and even the axe kicks, if you somehow manage to get hit by the first one, then you block the axe kicks. Most people can launch that. So.
Oh, I love axe kicks.
Who doesn't?
My favorite part about axe kicks is if you can space well against like any axe kick user, the first one will hit you and they'll try to hit you with the second one, and occasionally you can make it miss. And then you get to launch him even though you got hit with the first axe kick. That's my favorite strat.
Yeah, that's interesting. Well, okay, so we're talking about Hell Sweep. Well, let's go into the mix-up game then. I personally, I know that it's kind of a big debate, but I personally think Heihachi is the best Mishima. I know a lot of people say Kazuya, and I think the debate is there because I think Kazuya is really good as well. But I love the fact that Heihachi just has the mix-up games. You know, he has the low pokes with down back 2, down back 3. He still has the generic down 4. And then his down forward 1 string, you know, you can hit confirm the TP, which is pretty fucking stupid. He doesn't have his old back 2. I really loved old back 2, but he still has a back 2, so it's still a solid mid. You can still do forward 1, back 2, and that is the old back 2. So you have that. He also has the high crushes, you know, or not the high crushes, the low crushes, you know, in case people try to footsie you. So, you know, you have the up forward 4, you have the up forward 3, 4.
Footsie, huh?
Yeah. You know, people try to low poke you and try to go under your shit. But,
yep.
you know, he has all that goodness, so I think it's right. And then you also mentioned the down 1. I mean, he plays hella spacing games with the down 1, so.
See, that's why I like Heihachi. He's a total 2D character in spacing. That's why I wanted to talk about him with Mike here. He is just a 2D character. You just space away with those chops. And when you get in, you get to grind him away, like Mike said. You can play some.
Yeah, you know, I was also curious to know what you guys think about the forward 3, that knee. I mean, for me as a 2D player, that thing is gold. You know, it's
right.
Such a good asset in the footsie game.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Forward 3 is really, really good. I mean,
it looks hella cocky too.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. And you know, it's safe, hella safe. You know, so and it can lead to some massive damage. So yeah, it's definitely something that you have to throw into your game if you play Heihachi. No doubt about it.
Because it's a knee, it's unreversible.
Yeah, absolutely.
I love that. For those Devil Jin players.
Oh, it's more than Devil Jin. You got Dragunov players too. You love to fucking.
I don't know a single Dragunov who reverses ever. I don't know. That seems like some bullshit right there.
Weird, because I know at least one. So. But one thing, another thing I like about Heihachi is, you know, he has some of the pressure moves because he has those quick pokes to kind of get you to stop moving a little bit. And, you know, electric alone will make you watch your step. But you know, you still have forward 4, which is, even though you don't get a launch anymore if they crouch, who cares? I mean, it's still gold, especially out of.
He gets this new down 3.
Yeah, and I mean, it's still gold out of Wave Dash, so you can still play games with that, no doubt. And then, yeah, and he's never really had a tracking problem. Anybody with a God Fist, I think it's impossible for them to have a tracking problem. So, but even more to the point, his you know, his lows, all the lows that you're going to use are good trackers. So. Doesn't really have a problem in that area. So I guess, okay, Dan, let me throw this question out to you, because I have my own response, but I mean, what do you think,
I'm waiting for it.
What do you think Heihachi's biggest weaknesses are? I mean, how would you attack that character as a defender?
Oh, well, okay, I'll get there, but I want to attack your comment about best Mishima.
Oh, okay.
It is totally Kazuya. Totally. That guy is the best Punisher in the game. #1 for punishment. There's no contest. And then he's also got, you know, like, it's toned down stature kick, but it's still as good as ever. His high crushes, that down back 3, that still gives him the knockdown on counter hit, right? That shit's delicious. He's just, I mean, he doesn't have chop, and that's where I really give Heihachi his dues. I mean, that is a total 2D. I'm extending out far, far beyond my character move. He controls space better than the other ones, but having a 13 frame when God Fist has these pokes, best Punisher in the game, no problem. I gotta give it to Cats. That's me fighting you.
Thanks. I appreciate you fighting me. There it is.
Soundboard.
There's the, well, it's a, yeah, I guess you can call it a soundboard. It's more like a...
Yeah, I'm a one move guy. I don't have 8 magic dismounts like Mike.
all you need is one. Just one good one.
That's true.
My one trick, I slap the ass and then shove my finger in there, and that's it. That's all I got.
Well, I guess to your point, Kazuya is definitely, I would agree, he is the best Punisher in the game. I don't think anybody, especially when he's launching at 13 frames, like, it's really hard to compete with that. But like you said, I think Heihachi controls the spacing better than Kazuya does, and both spacing and punishing are really important in the game of Tekken, so I guess it all depends on where you put the emphasis. And for me, I think spacing is more important, especially in a game, I don't know, where you have walls. So, but again, I mean, to kind of give, to give you credit for your argument for Kaz, punishing is, when you have walls, is really crucial as well. So I don't know. I prefer the spacing game over the punishing game, but I'm kind of a shitty Punisher, so whatever. So, it's maybe just my bias speaking.
The only thing I actually doesn't have is the Testament guys coming out of the background. Undead trees.
Oh, trees. Oh, man.
Fill the screen with some trees.
That's right. And, throw some guilty gear talk in there.
I like it. I like that.
But how would I attack Heihachi? It really comes down to not giving up the counter hit down ones to me. I mean, like, obviously you don't want to give up electrics even more so, but I build my whole game around avoiding giving up counter hit down ones. So I try to space them, look for maybe them to whiff, and then try to kill them. Keep a constant sidestep going, even if, he can electric, make him electric. Because, the move is really, really, really good, but you still want to make Mishima players use it, too. If I have a Magic 4, that's how I really like to roll, but I'm a Dragonite player, I just counter hit his face off with 1-2-1. And then, yeah, throw out some high crushes. You really have to mix it up against him. Because he does fill the screen so well.
Yeah, I would agree with that. When I'm playing a Mishima, just in general, I usually keep my high crush in my back pocket at all times. And if you have a high crushing low, which most characters do, that's usually what you'd want to do. Because Heihachi has some options, but for the most part, since his while standing punishment isn't all that good, you can kind of just keep throwing that out without much of a worry about it. I mean, he can low parry it certainly, but I mean, if you're messing with your timing and you're playing that spacing game like you said, your threat of electrics go down because you're doing a high crush. If he happens to do axe kicks out of crouch dash, you'll eat some damage, but relatively speaking, if you're mixing it up well enough, you shouldn't take too much damage off of that. I guess he could Thunder God Fist you if he's feeling really brave, but that's about it. So.
Yeah. I ain't gonna let him do that.
And with Heihachi, it's kind of weird because he doesn't really have anything that's that you have to sit there and think to yourself, okay, is this a 10-frame punishment? Is this a 12-frame punishment? Like headbutt, I mean, you should know that that's a 12-frame punishment. But most everything else, Hell Sweep, it gives you a block stun, so you don't really have to guess. And a lot of his other stuff is either safe or really obviously punishable. I should note though, 4-4-2. It's -16, but it has range on it, so I mean you have to remember that when you're playing against him. So yeah. Okay, so
are you feeling okay, Chief?
I'm actually I am recovering from a cold. I'm at the tail end of it, so this time if I sound a little muffled, that's why. I'm actually sick this time. So, so just kind of bear with me.
Not like the second podcast or whatever.
Yeah, where I was just muffled just cause. But okay, so his general safety. I also want to talk about panic buttons too. Other than he has some pretty good panic buttons, I think, because he does have the headbutt. And then he also.
You think so?
Well, it depends on how you define the panic button, because like his headbutt gives him pretty good damage, and it's really quick. So, you know, at 12 frames. So it's not a Magic 4, obviously, but it's still pretty decent compared to some other characters out there that don't really have much or anything for panic buttons. But I always saw 1/1/2 as a panic button. I really did. So, I mean, even though 1/1 is -1, I mean, when you can hit confirm it, I don't know. I really like it as a panic button. But I'm not going to say he's the best,
For sure.
obviously, with the panic buttons, because I mean that's pretty much the end of the list right there. You can say
The only panic button I'll give him is While Standing 2.
While Standing 2. Huh.
That's my only panic button for him. You force him crouching, he's one of the few characters, I mean, that move will sidestep, duck, and counter hit stun your ass or something. Other than that, yeah, maybe straight up hop kick for counter hit launches. I don't give him much in the way of that bullshit.
Yeah, no, and that was kind of my point. Like, he has a couple, you know, stuff that's pretty decent, but overall, pretty much the only thing that you have to really concern yourself with when you're trying to rush him down is, you know, the God Fist, because you don't want to get God Fisted. Nobody does. So,
Do you want to get God Fisted, Mike?
I do. You know, I want to get hit by that thing 3 times. That's what I like. 3 times.
Oh.
Skill combo?
Oh, well, you're in luck.
Yeah.
You're very much in luck, because in this game, not only can you get 3, but there's a bound. I don't know if you've heard about that, but you can get a couple more. So,
Yeah, that's right. You know,
and you don't have to
I
throw
it
it.
should be off right.
I was wondering if other communities thought Tekken was stupid, because we try to build as many combos as we can with the same move over and over.
Oh, you haven't heard of the Bison CC in CVS2, where you do a Dragon Punch, for like 18 times or whatever.
Pain in the fence.
Super, and that's like, yeah, pain in the fence. 80%. See ya.
You gotta love Mike here, Scott. They nickname their moves too.
Oh, yeah, it's required. You wouldn't be
Real
on
man.
this podcast if you didn't name your moves.
That's my man right there. By the way, listeners, this is the first guy to post up his Michael Winslow, so you all should be taking notes.
Yeah, that's right. My dismounts. I've got names for him. One of them's the Archer. One of them's the Shooter. Shooter McGavin.
Nice.
Now I'm picturing you like on top of a shelf there, sniping the girls.
Yeah. I'll save the rest for a later date. I'll tease you with those 2.
That's all I need. I'm tantalized.
That's awesome. Well, we did get somebody else who posted a Michael Winslow, and I'll save that for later, for after the Heihachi stuff. But, at least we're starting to trend, slowly but surely. People are starting to give us their Michael Winslow love, which is always nice to see.
You guys are waking up.
Yeah. Well, there's really, we've pretty much covered most of Heihachi's stuff. The one thing that I don't think we've talked about yet is his grab game. He does have some pretty decent grabs, but I think when it comes to his grab game, the best part about it is his Oki, especially off of his regular grabs.
Absolutely.
It puts you in such a bad situation. He's asking you, hey, please get up so I can do my mix-up. So.
And now the chop bounce.
Yeah.
Fuck that shit.
Yeah. He has no problem picking you up or just randomly bounding you. It's kind of silly. So well, that's that's about it. I think we covered everything. We got his punishing, his juggles, lows, launchers, all that stuff. Can you think of anything else, Dan, to add about this character, or any topics?
He sucks. You should kill him.
Okay, we'll just end the specific topic or the specific discussion on Heihachi there. We'll just talk about him in general, about how he plays, and the tier discussion and stuff. You say he sucks. I love him. I think he's in the mid to high mid discussion. But I'm gonna take a wild guess and say
I think I need to know who you think is low. I was going to rank him low. Yeah, I rank him low. I rank him low mid, actually. I don't think, Kazuya might be in the running for like mid to upper mid, but aside from that, I don't like any of the Mishimas anymore. They're...
Okay, well, Mike, what do you think? How do you like Heihachi? I mean, I know you don't have the most experience with Tekken, but still want to know like how you think he feels, and what you see when you see him play.
Well, how about I answer your question like this? I play Lily for the reason why Heihachi sucks. Yeah, I realized there was a lot of holes there that, in my game I couldn't really overcome due to technical things or whatnot, and Lily was a much better fit for that. I couldn't quite, electric as well, and so I play her as well, and almost more often for that respect.
Do you play online?
Yeah. Yes, I do.
And we can totally edit this out if the answer is no, but do you want to tell the kids your screen name so they can come beat you up?
Oh, yeah. All open challenges, whatever. Tekken, Street Fighter, whatever you want to do. It's Rez Darkness. That's R-E-Z, because I'm from the Rez, the reservation in Montana. Darkness, all one word, capital R, capital D. So, want to challenge, just...
I love the balls of this.
Yeah, I love it. I do too. It's very, very awesome.
All right. If you play Lily, then, and I'm curious who you would put, like, in your outside perspective, who are your top 3 characters in the game?
Oh, for me, definitely I agree with Law being up there because he's got it. He's got an answer for everything, and from what I've seen, once he gets rolling, it's really hard to stop him. I kind of agree with Fang being up there too. For me, he just seems like he can control space really well.
I love you.
And definitely Steve. Yeah, definitely Steve. He's got it. And I agree with Dan when he said he's a boring character because he does follow like a flow chart. He's like one of those flow chart characters.
He is.
He's flow chart. So like do this when this happens, and you're good, or just back one or whatever and kill him. I'd probably put those guys at the top, and that's just my take on the game. I'm not an expert in any means, but those guys definitely do some damage.
Thanks for humoring us on it, at least.
Yeah, no, and that's
Oh yeah, no problem.
I think that's a solid perspective. I mean, everything you said, pretty much matches up with what most Tekken players would say, especially with Steve being boring, But you have to have those characters. You have to have those really boring, ease-of-use characters, so... And, of course, they're always good for whatever reason. All right, so...
Yeah. Well, Dan's the reason why I play Steve, actually.
Dan's the reason I live.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. Steve just seemed really solid, and,
You guys are the reason my pants are off. I didn't even come to the computer with water. Mike said he was drinking a beer. I said I refuse to be the guy recording the podcast with water when he's drinking beer. Fuck that.
That's right.
Indeed. All right.
What's that, Scott? Are we going to have somebody read us a low parry combo?
You know what? We can. I actually hadn't planned for it. I forgot. I don't know how. But I can always throw that in. So for just a moment here, let us pause to reflect on a feminine voice reading us some Heihachi low parry goodness, especially for a character who has to low parry every once in a while. It's probably useful information for you tools out there.
Crouch dash 4, neutral 4, dash, forward 1, back 2, 4.
So I was trying to think, I'm like, what's the hottest sounding chick I know? Because I got to get her on this podcast. Stat.
Yes, you do.
Yes, absolutely, mandatory.
So I will look for you guys.
Appreciate that.
All right. Well, now that we got some low parry goodness out of the way, that's pretty much all I got for Heihachi and Tekken for right now.
I think my ears just came.
You got anything else to add, Dan or Mike? Anything on the Heihachi?
Well, the only thing I really have is, we mentioned wall carry just in theory, but, the one I found was, the back forward 2-1, I think it is.
Yep,
that was the one move, but, that I used to just, get into the wall or whatever that, I found was pretty useful.
It's a good way to end it.
Yeah, I think so. Give the people out there who are looking to pick up this character some good stuff, some wall carry juice. I like.
That's how you. That is how you blast into the wall real quick.
Yep, it is very much so. Cool. Well, okay. So let's just launch into some fucking random babble because that's what we're all about here on the Sexiest Podcast.
Ever
made. So
it's big flicks now that Mike's on too.
Yeah. Well, okay. So I hate Marvel, and we'll get to that. But I just feel like going on another half-hour rant, just saying how much I hate.
So you guys know.
hate that game with a passion. I don't know why I play it. I really don't. I keep asking myself why I play it. I don't know.
Well, they give Sentinel for you. The couple of podcasts that it's been, they reduced his health to nothing.
Wait, you know what? That's the one character I really like. That makes me sad.
It was funny at first when I saw that nerf. I was like, it still is not. I don't know. I didn't really at first think that it was really a big nerf. I was like, whatever. Still 900 stuff, and it's more of his damage output that makes him scary for me. But with the less life, it does make you pick your moments to assist him because he can die so easily now as an assist. Whereas back before the nerf, he would live through some pretty long assist combos. So I think people are choosing their assist time more wisely, which is nice because his assist is pretty fucking stupid. But it is what it is. He's still Sentinel.
Yeah, he's still a big threat, and a lot of what the people are grappling about now is that why nerf Sentinel because he's not. It's not that he was strong. It was the level. It was that the X factor made him strong, and they should have nerfed X factor rather than nerf Sentinel's life, which didn't really change anything.
Yeah, I agree. That's one of my problems with Marvel. It's like the characters themselves aren't all that bad. If you look at how they fit into the game, most of the characters, even the busted ones, they fit into the game really well. They're following the mechanics that they need to follow. It's just a lot of the system, the core system of the game that just really bugs me. You mentioned the X Factor. I just think giving the player the choice to X Factor and do double damage whenever they want is really stupid. You're just asking people to break the game when you do that. But then there's all this glitchy relaunch stuff, and then you have the unblockables. I hate, assists that make moves unblockable. I just don't really like that all that much. But I'm not really a huge fan of the assists. I think assists are way too powerful, but that's just me. I'm not one of those fill the screen kind of players, so...
Yeah, it's it's one of those things where it's almost like an art form to figure out how the game flows. It's you really have to pick these moments and these places on the playing field, which your opportunities for damage and for mix-ups are so small. It's such a different thing there. It's almost it takes a certain kind of player to love that, and I can see how it can be, not the thing for some people, and for other people, they just love it,
Yeah, that is one thing I noticed. It's not, the game is broken and people love it for being broken, and that's one of the reasons I hate it, so I can't really expect it to go away, but, whatever. I guess I'll just keep playing it just for shits and giggles and hating my life, but...
Yeah.
Okay, Dan, did you have any, random topics you wanted to talk about at all?
Not this round. I didn't generate anything because I figured... just being around Mike was enough. These people should be thanking their lucky stars.
I agree. And Mike, tell the people what are you drinking right now? We need to know. What is your poison?
Oh, right now I'm on the cheap, So I got the the dollar Jim Beams from the liquor store, the little sample size things.
Right.
And I've got the Trader Jose, Sam Adams knockoff from Trader Joe's, So I'm living on the burbs here.
I like
nice.
it.
But yeah, I was gonna mix up some gin and tonics, but
I'm supposed to go with those Trader Joe's substitutes. Those just don't taste as good on my fucking Fruity Pebbles. But I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do.
That's true.
Yeah, that's right. I only have a little bit of time.
Breakfast just ain't the same, but sometimes breakfast doesn't have to be.
Yep. Yeah, ordinarily my drink of choice would have to be the Sapphire Tonic, the Bombay Gin.
That's how sexy this podcast is. We endorse drinking.
We do.
The only way to cope with slamming scrubs all day.
That's true.
Yeah, that's right. If you can't smack talk and drink while you play, why are you playing?
That's true. And when you're smack talking, you need to be hyped up off that extends. Make sure you got big boners to slap in people's faces. So
I hope you listeners are studying here. These are educational.
They are.
Yeah, that's right. I would have to agree with you guys. That's one thing I wanted to bring up too. Is that you guys were right. The Tekken players, they're like the jocks of the scene. The Street Fighter players, they're kind of they like to stick to themselves and most likely afraid of the opposite sex.
Oh no!
No!
Man.
Oh man!
You guys thought we were bringing in a 2D guy? Look at this
right.
sneak attack! Holy shit! Bam! Dick in the pants. That isn't even a vagina. What we expected.
Oh.
Yeah.
Surprise.
So I'm calling them out. Let's step it up. We can.
Hit
ladies,
the fucking gym. Go to some
look it
bars. Pick up some random people. Live your life.
Dang.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, exactly. These people who go to Evo, are like, I'm going to spend maybe 18 hours of this day playing games in Las Vegas, and I'm like, no, you could go have a life, have a beer, hang out with your friends, go talk to people, maybe talk to some ladies, just live it up. It's just a way to have fun, not necessarily just dial into the game and just be absorbed into that.
Oh,
go to the In-N-Out Burger.
Yeah, absolutely.
Go to the In-N-Out Burger. Fight terrorism.
Meet Jay Leno, who leads our organization in the fight against terror. Oh man, that's such good advice though. The only year that I ever went to Evo and did not gamble or drink or do any of that stuff was the year that I couldn't. So, and they legally would not let me, and I still drink in the rooms. So whatever, I don't understand that either. I mean, you're in Vegas, go do something. I mean, the video game stuff is cool, but it's there for 3 days. So
it's like people who go to the Pro Bowl and then don't go hit the beach after the fucking game. Shut up.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is a joke of a game. You're going to this giant fucking tournament. It's supposed to be a vacation, too.
Yeah, absolutely. Even if you're doing real well, whatever, man. I've seen, top-tier players just get blasted after the first day, So, whatever.
I've seen fucking Koreans who came all the way over and do that.
Yeah, I think that's my personal game plan, in the 3 years I've gone to Evo, is that as soon as I get on the plane from NSP, I am no longer sober. I went to Evo, and my friend Mobe and all these people. You know how they greeted me? They handed me a full-on bottle of Jack Daniels and said, "You're going to carry this around with you for the next 3 days, and we're going to replace it with another one because it's perfectly legal to walk around everywhere with a bottle of Jack Daniels."
Nice.
I think it's actually required.
Yeah, I think it is.
Yeah.
I'll arrest you if you don't.
One of those.
Yeah.
I gotta write you a ticket. Those are some good friends right there. Are you going this year?
Yeah. Oh yeah, I'll be there. I gotta hype the 2D. I play this Garo Mark the Wolves game on the Neo Geo, and I've got to represent for that one because nationally, I think I'm one of the better players, and I've got to take out the top two guys out in Cali.
Good.
So that's my plan.
Nice. Rep Midwest.
Everyone, get your asses to Evo if you want to meet Big Mike Medicine Horse here.
Or us.
That's right, and let's go hang out because yes.
No, don't fucking talk to me. Oh, you didn't say Lars was ready to suck my dick.
Oh man. Oh, that's too funny. Oh God, I love hate. I hate that it took 2 pages to get to this. But whatever.
Yeah, you guys, I really appreciate you posting in our thread finally, and I hope more of you listeners out there get in there, start chiming in, fucking tear us apart. I don't care. You're stupid.
Oh man, and I have to give a shout out to Bronson Insanely. That guy, how he trolls me, it's amazing. I love it. He's like, wow, you don't know what you're talking about. Oh my God, I'm apologizing for American players because of you. It's like, oh, harsh. I love it though. It's good banter. Oh, speaking of which, before we started, I mentioned that we actually did have another person who stepped up to the plate on the Michael Winslow stuff. So I have to give this guy his props. I don't know how to pronounce his name, so I apologize. It's spelled Lilleboff.
Right.
Lilleboff? I have no idea, but
that dude has been a man in that thread.
Yeah, for real. From Norway, so fucking shout outs to all you players in Norway. If this is how you're represented, I love you. But his Michael Winslow, so he said that he would like Michael Winslow just to sit by his side and do dramatic slow motion sound effects for his everyday activities. But he preferably would like music and stuff for like when he's taking a shit. He specifically says like he'd sit beside me when I'm doing my dirty work, making it feel like I was taking a shit to decide the fate of the world, which is pretty nice. I thought that's pretty nice.
Yeah.
Making the significant. That's what he would do.
That is Fjorden awesome.
Yeah.
I think that's a swear word where he's from.
You think? Instead, he just called his mother a whore.
Go Fjord yourself.
And he also gave us a shout out, and I did want to quote him on that one. He said, "Our podcast is good, informative, straight to the point, mixed with sweet gayness, just the way he likes it." So we're gonna keep it up. Yeah, we're gonna keep it up just for him, because
know what I mean?
I love it. I love doing it that way. Makes things fun. Makes people yell at us. So. So that's really all I have. I don't really have any more awesome things to add. So, Dan,
Do you have anything, Mike?
Mike,
I do.
Let's
I
hear
do.
it.
yes,
My parting words are keep it up and sweep the leg.
sweep the leg. Very nice.
Wise.
Okay,
Wise.
Mike, I'm actually going to put you on the spot because we have one more segment left. One more segment. All right.
Do you know what it is?
Do you know what it is?
I do not. Surprise me.
Okay, well, you will be surprised because it is our sound off segment. 60 seconds where you can just rant and put whatever you want to on notice. Put it on blast. And we'll give you 60 seconds, and most of the time we go over that, so whatever. But you pick a topic, and you just tell us what you hate.
Oh, I'd have to say button mashing scrubs. And one of the players I hate the most is that they pick a character that works really well and they just ups you. Say we're both playing a game and I don't know much, but you know a little bit more, and they're just gonna hammer on you like Soul Calibur comes to mind in this thing. Where they're like, I don't know how to block, and they're just like, I'm gonna attack, and I aim you. Until, eventually I figure out how to play the game, and then you don't want to play me anymore because I destroy you.
I can't wait for Esam to hear that.
Oh, I can't either. Oh, and you know what? It's really funny you should mention Soul Calibur because a good friend of mine who lives here in town, he's 0-0-0 on the boards, and he was a good Calibur player, actually an administrator on the Calibur boards. And
He's really good at mashing.
he's really good at mashing. But he actually made somebody tear up the other day at work because they were talking about video games, and they said that they loved Caliber because it was a masher's game and you could just win by mashing. And he slammed this guy so hard. It was the funniest. This guy was so butthurt about it. I had to do my best to not laugh in front of this guy's face. But yeah, I'm anxious for him to hear about this, not just Esam. Oh, that'll be great.
Get them both.
Oh,
Yeah, fuck you guys and your
Yeah.
block button games.
oh come
Yeah.
on. I liked Caliber. I don't like Black
You like a
Buttons,
shitty game?
but I like Caliber. But whatever. That was a good rant, though. I hate button mashers too, and they
And I hate Soul Calibur,
Yeah, and-
so we're all
yeah,
good here.
exactly. That hit multi-tiered rant. I like that very much.
Yep,
Oh, man.
very much.
That was an excellent way to end this. So with that, we will say goodbye to all you listeners. Hope you learned something, maybe. I mean, I hate Marvel and he hates button mashers. So if nothing else, that's what you know about us. So have a good one.
And I
guys.
love both of them. Show's over. Time to put your pants back
Yeah,
on.
put your pants back on. But yeah, enjoy this podcast, and we hope you guys will tune in next time.